Hey there folks, rinimt here, and welcome back to Game of Fortune! They receive a free copy. Disclaimer, it's other stories rather. In the last part, we were in this third game on this route, in this weird, almost, I don't want to say Among Us, but there's a traitor among us. So, yeah. Anyways, we went to this kitchen because Zeph went to make cookies. These sugar cookies, but then there was blood on them and stuff. Anyway, so what are we looking for exactly? Well, anything that looks like fake blood or real blood, I guess. There's some kind of kitchen equipment, you know, where you'd find a basting brush or whatever. Take a look around. I've worked in a few kitchens before. That's right, you're a cook. You probably know better than anyone. I mean, I just know where things might be. There's no guarantee they'll actually be there, you know? Look around the kitchen, check the cabinet, shelves, and just about every nook and cranny to see if anything was missing. Kishi, meanwhile, was checking the stove and oven. I guess he really was making cookies. The oven was off, but it's still hot. It means it was on a while ago, right? Probably. It takes a while for heat to filter out of an oven, even after it's turned off. Actually, now that I think about it, he must have turned the oven off after we both left the rooms we were in. I mean, it makes sense, right? He went and grabbed the cookies, turned off the oven, and joined the rest of us. Yeah, that sounds about right. How would those cookies taste, by the way? Sweet, soft, pretty great, honestly. You wish you had one? Well, just think about when Zeph must have put them in the oven. He said he only spent about around 25 minutes in the kitchen, after all. That means he probably put the cookies in the oven before leaving. So that meant that the cookies would be making for around 15 to 20 minutes or so? Is that important? Well, this isn't really forensic science or anything, but the cookies were undercooked, and I was suspecting he put them in either much later than he said, or he put them in on a rather low temperature. If they were burnt, I might suspect that he put them on a higher temperature to compensate for the fact that he might have put them in later as well. But maybe he really did just put the cookies in the oven at the right temperature for the right amount of time. Huh, never would imagine you try to use baking laws to determine if he was lying or not. Well, we might as well help out somehow. Can't let you, Richard, and Zeph do all the work here. Fair. Looks like you also left quite a mess in the sink. Look through the sink, saw a few bowls, measuring cups, and other things tossed around. One of those looks to have butter. I scooped a bit of it into my finger and gave it a lick. You're tasting it? Just to make sure it's what it looks like. Tastes like butter, nothing weird about it, but at least it gives me an idea of what bowls to look for. Maybe I underestimated the power of being a good cook. I rolled my eyes and started looking for similar bowls in various cabinets and also for ingredients. Flour, sugar, salt, usual stuff that you expect to make sugar cookies. There were a few other things that were out of place. Kishi, come here. What'd you find? A few things, really. Small details, but I figured it'd be worth mentioning. First off, the mixing bowls used were part of a set. The largest was used for making the sugar cookies, but there's one missing from the set. Missing, huh? Yeah, when I was looking for the ingredients, I noticed something. The tin of cornstarch was open. The whole red food dye bottle has been emptied. Even some cream seemed to be missing. Pretty sure you mix all this up, you get chunky red mess. Probably something that looked like blood, perhaps? Good eye! Guess that just about confirms it. Plus, I couldn't find any basting brushes. Not sure if Belle only has one, but if there are multiple, I can't find them here. Well, that means it's probably not here. Guess we gotta look around some more. Kishi nodded her head and started to walk out the kitchen, but stopped midway. Hey, might we check our colors real quick? Just so we're not frantic or rushing later. Oh, yeah, I guess we should get that taken care of. Kishi craned her neck so I could see the symbol on her collar. Looks like a halo this time around. Better than a skull. Well, let's see what yours is. Turn around, move my hair out of the way so Kishi could get a look. Oh, bad look. Looks like it's a skull for you. Maybe you really are next. Well, you had the skull last time. Somehow you're still around, so it's probably not that big a deal. Yeah, probably. Anyway, now that we got that handled, let's check some other rooms. Actually, Kishi, you seem pretty zealous about all this. Well, it's kind of fun, honestly. It feels like I'm a detective. Not that I really know what I'm doing, I just kind of like playing detective. Yeah, but aren't you worried? About... Well, as of now, it seems that Zeph's the most suspicious. Things don't go well for him. If we can't find evidence proving that he's innocent, we'll probably have to take some action to kill him, right? Doesn't that scare you? I mean, he's your boyfriend. Hope that you'd hesitate a little about having to kill him. Or is that why you're so excited? You're hoping to find evidence that proves him innocent. Kishi went suspiciously quiet as she leaned against one of the hallway walls. No, I was being honest with what I said before. I was mainly doing this because I was excited. Fact of the matter is, if Zeph's a traitor, I won't hesitate to kill him. What? That sounds cruel, doesn't it? To be able to execute the person that you love and cherish without hesitation. But that's how the game is played. You can't win if you aren't willing to end the lives of everyone around you. And everyone has to have the drive to win. But that's... I mean... don't you think that's a really harsh stance to take? If you had asked me 4 years ago, I might have said yes. It is a harsh stance, but what else could I do? Sacrifice myself so that Zeph goes ahead? I mean, yeah. That's what... Also, I thought back to Clyde. He gave his own life to save me. That kind of selfless act isn't something that just belongs to either of us. That's what people who love each other do, right? In books, movies, and games, sure. But when push comes to shove, more people care about self-preservation. Not to say that people don't do selfless things, but they do it for selfish reasons. How does that make any sense? Think about it. People do selfless acts for a number of selfish reasons. Some might do it because they think they'll look better, others do it because it makes them feel like a good person, others do it because they're being selfless ensures the person they care about survives or does better in life. But they don't do it because it's the right thing to do. They do it because it makes them feel good. It gives them some sense of satisfaction, happiness, or relief. Sometimes that just happens to match up with whatever the right thing to do happens to be. That's just how humans work. It's impossible for us to do things that we don't actually want to do. There's no such thing as a truly selfless act. I never figured that you'd say something like that. Why? To give off the impression of being a selfless person. I mean, there were times where you tried to help me and others. So it feels weird to hear you just be so callous. It's like you're flip-flopping from one philosophy to another. It makes sense if you thought that way all the time, but nothing but victory nothing but victory all the time. It's weird to see you be empathetic one moment and then extremely selfish in another. She went wide-eyed as though I had to explain some cosmic truth to her. Then her eyes softened and a look of sadness rolled over her face. Yeah, I guess you're right. I really am flip-flopping all over the place. But I have to, you know? That's just... They struggled to find the right words, their lips pressed against themselves. I want to care! I want to! I really want the best for everyone, to keep it so that no one has to die in the most shitty, painful way possible. I don't like seeing people waste away, seeing that fear and terror in their eye when they realize they're going to die. I hate it. At the same time, I have to be tough too. I can't let my emotions guide me every step of the way. I tried that last time, it just ended up as a sobbing, blubbering mess that wanted to hide away from the world. Be tough. I have to be strong. That's just how I get through these games. Like a switch, you know. When things get scary or hectic or intense, I have to make myself focus. It makes me into a real stone-faced bitch at times, but I just chill a heavy sigh and rub the back of her neck. This is the only way that I can win these games. I'm not extremely athletic, I'm just somewhat clever, but I'm no genius. There's really only one thing I got going for me. When the chips are down, I can put my emotions aside for a while, be tough, and make sure I do what's smart and pragmatic. Because the alternative is to get overwhelmed with emotions. Again. I don't want that. Anyway, hope that's at least somewhat of a pleasing answer for you. But I guess if Zeph does turn out to be a traitor, I'll at least make it so his last moments are happy ones. Not totally heartless after all. I see. I guess I get that. And if you don't, well, that's fine. You don't need to empathize with me, really. So come on, let's look around and see if we can find some clues. Yeah, the faster we get this over with, the better. Continue our search for on some other rooms nearby. Like would have it, I eventually found a mixing bowl hidden underneath the bed. Hey, I think I found it. Kishi rushed over towards me, excited by the latest find. Ah, so this is it then. Look at the bowl and the brush as if she had some kind of national treasure. Damn, this room's pretty far from where you and Zeph went in round 1, right? Yeah, it's a fair bit away. Means that whoever used this probably wouldn't have had much time to paint the words and then run all the way over here in 4 minutes or less. That's impossible, but sure as hell would have been harder. Yeah, that definitely seems to be the case. I wonder if... What the heck? Zeph? That's definitely Zeph. It sounded like a bunch of other stuff fell too. Maybe he fell? Where do you think that came from? I don't know. It can't be that far, right? Well, Zeph can project his voice pretty damn loudly when he wants to. But let's look for him. Shouldn't be hard. I left the room and searched around, calling out for Zeph. Eventually, we found him face down at the bottom of the stairs near the foyer. Zeph, are you okay? We both quickly rushed over to him. Ugh. Hey, come on, champ, wake up! What the? Oh. Slow to get up, his face was bruised and slightly swollen. What happened? And where's Richard? You two were supposed to be searching together. No, they were investigating the study upstairs. Just as we were leaving, the guy clocked me in the face with some heavy-ass book. Look, couldn't hold my ground. He kept hitting me over and over again until we got to the stairs and just shoved me down. But damn, look at him for getting going down. Well, at least you're still alive. Richard attacked you? Why would he do that? Think I'd know? I don't even know what the heck he'd hit me for. It's not like we found anything. You said he was upstairs by the study, right? Devin, do you know the way? Yeah, but isn't he gonna attack us if we approach him? Guy's a freaking nutcase! Probably trying to kill you! No, he won't. Not if he knows what's good for him. If he kills any of us, then he die. Rules say you can't cause someone be unable to speak their symbol, right? Being dead seems like it get in the way of that. Kishi, I don't want you taking that risk. Risk? There's no risk. If he kills me, he'll die, and he's probably the traitor. Then I'll be brought back, and everything will be fine. Zeph quietly conceded the point. Ready to go, Devin? Yeah, let's figure this shit out. We rushed upstairs to the study. Zeph was holding on to Kishi while we approached the door. Hey, you don't need to latch onto me like we're doing the conga. And watch the collar! I don't want Belix to leave my head off because I got slapped or something. Sorry, I just have a really bad sense of balance right now. Zeph backed up a bit and leaned against the nearby wall. Kishi reached for his door handle and swung the door open. I immediately jumped back as Richard swung a hefty book in her direction. Richard, what the heck? Oh, sorry, I thought you were Zeph. So you did attack Zeph? What? He attacked me first. Hit me right in the back of the head. Bullshit! I didn't hit him. Zeph shouted a fair bit away. I had the wound to prove it. Richard turned around and showed a sizable bruise on the back of his head. Almost blacked out, which, mind you, Zeph would have probably gotten you killed. Probably just bashed your head against one of the bookcases or something. Okay, hold on. You're all going to have to tell me what's going on here. Who attacked who first? He attacked me first. Asshole struck me first. You know what? I should have expected this. Let me try this another way. I already heard your story, Zeph, so I want to hear Richard's now. Tell me what happened. Well, Zeph and I were searching the rooms up here while we entered into the study. Things seemed fine. Zeph and I even told one another our symbols. All of a sudden, I feel this heavy blow to the back of my head, and Zeph is wailing on me with a book. I didn't endure a few hits before I gave him a strike back. Just play around, really randomly punching. And I guess I hit him eventually. Then I just backed off, but I didn't trust that he wouldn't come back to attack me again, so I grabbed the book and got ready for when he came back. Which he did, telling some obvious fake story about how he's the victim in all this. If you didn't get the drop on me earlier, I would have beaten your ass easily. You literally did. It's only a miracle, and maybe a deliberate choice that you didn't go harder on your beatdown. Probably because you're the traitor and you don't want to die. You're obviously the traitor. Clearly, you're the one who set up the fake thing and decided to try and kill me to keep quiet about my suspicions. You realize how stupid you sound? I would want to kill you in a fight. I would just die. If I'm the traitor, I want to kill you with a book or fist and just lie to you about your symbol. Which again, would make me look suspicious and untrustworthy. Exactly! That's what you want us to think. Isn't reverse psychology, again, something you want us to think? For the love of God, can you two stop shouting? I barely hear myself think. Attention everyone! The round will end in 4 minutes. Please enter your room, lock the door, and announce your symbol. Oh, for the love of... Perfect timing. Yes. Hold on, before we all go to our separate rooms, I want confirmation on my symbol. I don't trust what Zeph told me was the truth. Same here. I don't think that Richard told me the truth either. Why would I willingly lie to you knowing it would out me as the traitor? I don't know. Why would I lie to you about yours? Enough bickering. Zeph, let me see your symbol is. Devin, you can do Richard's. Alright. Looked over Richard's collar. Hit the infinity symbol. The infinity symbol. Huh, so he didn't lie after all. Told you. Zeph, yours is the halo symbol. Knew it. What? Oh, that can't be. Infinity symbol. Oh, that's what it was. It's definitely a halo. See? Now he's trying to save face. I should knew he was going to get caught. I'm telling you, it was definitely the infinity symbol. I'm not lying. Looked over Zeph's collar to make sure that this wasn't some kind of weird setup. It really was a halo. It's a halo for sure. Maybe you just saw it differently? No, I'm not misremembering. I know it was an infinity symbol. Well, you can tell yourself that till you're blue in the face. It's obvious who our traitor is now. I'm not. Figure this out after we announce our symbols. Don't get yourselves killed just by arguing over something like this. Richard looked downright furious and utterly confused, but the evidence was right there. There was no denying that Zeph had the halo symbol. But then, why does he seem so certain that he saw a different symbol? Is he lying? Confused? Is there some trick at play here? What about everything else? The fight, the blood letters, the location of the bowl and brush. I can't figure all this out. Something bad is going to happen. I can't think here. I'll collect my thoughts in a nearby room. And I'll enter a room near here. Figure all this out after we announce our symbols. Sounds good. An uneasy tension in the air, we each entered a nearby room. Luckily for me, there seemed to be a similar study nearby. Not that it mattered what kind of room as long as the door locked. Which it did, and I was quick to get right to business. A symbol is let's go. Well, nothing happened, so it's probably safe to continue. Now on to the pressing matters. What the hell is going on? So much has happened. Well, honestly, not much has, but let's recap. Everything was weird right after the first round. Found bloody words on the floor and walls. We talked and determined the traitor is the person that probably wrote the words, and we found evidence of the fake blood being made. The question is, who made it, and are they the traitor? Let's go step by step. Zeph, Kishi, and I were the only ones who took a room on the first floor. At least that's what everyone's claiming. Out of everyone, only saw Zeph actually enter a room. The others could be lying. You know, the others are lying about what rooms they were in. It would be hard for them to know what room I was in. Unless Zeph's telling the truth, that someone was following us, so they could write the fake blood messages. But wouldn't I know something like that if someone was trying to sneak by me? Or was I really just that out of it? There's also the issue that whoever did end up writing those bloody words probably was in a hurry. He had to paint it, hide the bull, and get to a room in less than 4 minutes. Zeph seems the most likely person for that, considering he knew where my room was and he was quite literally across from it. Kishi's telling the truth, it would be quite a trip from the bar to our room. Not impossible, but it sure would be cutting it close. And this is assuming she knew where we were when the announcement played. Richard seems the least likely. He'd have the furthest to travel. Going from the first floor to the second floor, making it back to his study would require impressive speed. Though he is a painter, so maybe he could do the painting part quickly? And again, I have to know where Zeph and I were going to room, and then he put that plan in motion right as we closed the doors. And all this with the fact that the culprit had to have had time to make the fake blood in the first place. Zeph claims that he wasn't in the kitchen the entire first round, but that's hard to prove. No one can corroborate his alibi, but I do know that Kishi and Richard spent some time together, in the bar and study respectively. It was possible they may have entered into the kitchen, made a fake blood, and left before the round ended. I've used the same mixing bowl that Zeph used when he was making sugar cookies, as well as a basting brush. I found those in a room somewhat far away from the room on the first floor. By the time we were already searching as new pairs, Richard and Zeph were upstairs and Kishi and I checked the first floor. So the bowl and brush would have been hidden before we all met up in the foyer. Zeph wanted to get the cookies out of the oven right after the first round ended, so it definitely could have been him hiding them. Kishi was also on the first floor till the round ended, so it's possible she could have moved them too. Richard came from upstairs, so it's unlikely that he was the one that hid them, unless he hid them before he went into the study upstairs. Alright, that should just be about everything after the first round, but before the whole fight incident? Continuing from there, Zeph claims that Richard attacked him in the study and continued to attack him until he got pushed down the stairs. Kishi also heard him falling and found them soon after that. He definitely had some bad wounds on the front of his face that could have been caused by a fight. Richard, on the other hand, claims that Zeph attacked him randomly in the study, and that after a few hits, Zeph ran out of the room, leaving Richard fearful of preparing for a counterattack in the study. He has wounds on the back of his head, indicating he was indeed attacked on the back of the head. But can't both be telling the truth here. One of them has to be lying. One of them had to have attacked first, and the other must have faked their injuries somehow. But which one? Really, what's the point of all of it? Seeing innocent wanting to get into a fight, it just gets eyes on you, makes you look suspicious, and frankly might end up getting yourself killed. Kishi and I could easily just condemn both of them to death, thinking that at least one of them is a traitor. Is that the case? What if Kishi's a traitor and she wanted this outcome? No, that can't be right. Kishi wasn't anywhere near Richard or Zeph before they had their fight, so there's no way she could influence that sort of thing. She told Zeph to attack Richard. That doesn't make any sense. Again, there wasn't really any opportunity for them to collaborate. Actually, that's not true. They could have met up right after the first round ended, before we all met up in the foyer. Again, Kishi gains nothing from asking Zeph to fight Richard. If she's the traitor, that would look super suspicious, and Zeph would have a reason to suspect Kishi. Unless... what if he doesn't care? What if he knows that she's a traitor and might be acting out in hopes that she'll survive? 2 people die, and Kishi would win automatically if she were the traitor. Some complicated plot to convince me to execute Richard and Zeph? No, that's still too complicated. If they wanted to do something like that, then they wouldn't need this complicated plot. In fact, all Zeph would have to do is investigate the study with Richard and lock the door behind him, or break the rules and cause both of them to die. Then Kishi would win by default. So it couldn't be that. But then what was it? Also, why did Richard seem so surprised when Kishi told us what Zeph's symbol was? It didn't look like he was lying, but the fact of the matter is that what he told Zeph earlier was wrong. There's just no reason to lie about a symbol, especially when you out yourself as a liar and likely a traitor. He didn't backpedal, he didn't say it was a mistake, he looked more confused than anything. What happened? Has Zeph's symbol really changed since Richard last saw it? If that's the case, then it's really messed up. Zeph would have died, Richard would have definitely been suspected as a traitor. There. But does that help? How does that help? There's Kishi. That certainly would make sense. We'd likely team up against Richard, not tell him his symbol, and chances are he'd die, which would lead to Kishi winning. But if that's the truth, then how does Kishi change the symbol? This is assuming that she can change other people's symbols at all. If she could, and she wanted to win, she would just lie about my symbol or change mine, right? Clearly that didn't happen. The only reason that Richard and Zeph asked for someone to check their symbols again was because of their fight. Richard didn't ask for one of us to check, and we probably wouldn't have done so. And what the hell is this all for? What's the point of all these mysteries? Can't see anything making sense. There's too much confusion, too many oddities, too many weird things in general. Can't figure out the motive here. What does the traitor want to do right now? Right here? Right now? Do right here? Do right now? I don't know. It's like they're just creating chaos for the sake of creating chaos. Does that get them anywhere? Wait, maybe something I thought of earlier could just be expanded on. All this chaos, our thoughts have been scrambled. We're looking for answers, looking for an explanation. They're just doing all these weird things, but maybe not because they want to get away with it. Maybe because they want to get caught? If they're caught, then they'll be confronted. And if they're confronted just the right way, then... Alright, everyone! It's the end of round 2. You're all free to exit now. Looks like I'm out of time. As much as I want to think this through more, I'll have to give my thoughts. But I'll have to give my thoughts now. Time to end this. Wait for everyone to gather back in the hall. And soon enough, each and every one of them left the nearby rooms and gathered around me. Well, looks like we made it through the second round at least. Barely. If you two hadn't come to check on me, I'd be a goner for sure. Don't try and blame this on me. Well, who else would I blame it on? Stop. I don't want to hear any arguments from you two right now. Everyone stood at attention, clearly surprised by my assertive attitude. Look, we're gonna nip this in the bud right now. I'm nearly certain I know who the traitor is and what their goal is. Seriously? Well, it should be obvious that it's you. I was gonna say the same thing to you, jackass. What did I just say about arguing? You groaned, but didn't let me continue. Floor is all yours, Devin. Thank you. Alright, well, let's do this. Do his name the traitor, and everything else will fall into place afterwards. Traitor is... Save the game. I think it's Zeph. And that... I think it's Zeph. You can fake yourself falling downstairs. Especially if he was only bruised on the face and nothing else got bruised from falling. You can fake falling downstairs like that, right? And the traitor is Zeph. Zeph, you're the traitor. Oh, come on! Are you serious? Deadly serious. I'm near certain that you're the traitor. Well, let's hear it then. What's your argument? You think that just because I'm concussed, I can't argue for myself? I cracked my knuckles and gave him a stern glare. I wasn't going to be intimidated by whatever came out of his mouth. Alright, well, let's start off at the beginning, shall we? Thinking back on it, I remember that you were the only person that saw the foyer around the end of the first round. I just saw Kishi originally around the area, and you were the person who suggested which rooms we end up using. I'm also pretty sure that I would have noticed if anyone was walking by in the hallway. You didn't even mention it until after the first round had ended. You didn't wave, call, or do anything to indicate that someone was around. That's not proof of anything. Maybe I just wasn't interested in seeing whoever it was. So it could have been Richard or Kishi for that matter. I don't think so, because I think you're the most likely person to have made the fake blood in the first place. Why is that? Because I was in the kitchen for most of the first round? I mean, yeah, no one really knows what you were doing. You admitted yourself that you were in the kitchen. All the ingredients needed to make fake blood were also there. I was making cookies! You can't even deny that part, can you? You saw them for yourself. You're right. We did see them. That's a problem, isn't it? Huh? How's it the problem? Let's think for a moment. You're making cookies in the kitchen. Put them in the oven. The rest of your utensils and such in the sink. Can you leave? Or so you claim anyway. Yeah, I did. Someone could have walked in afterwards and started making fake blood. Yeah, if someone walked into the kitchen, saw the oven was on, you think they'd risk making fake blood? What if the baker came back and saw what they were doing? Seems awfully risky, don't you think? Zeph faltered for a bit, then reassured himself with a shake of the head. That just means that they took everything that they needed and mixed it up somewhere else. Sure, Zeph. It's possible that someone walked in, quickly put things in a bowl, the same type of mixing bowl that was used for your cookies, mind you, and ran off. Or we could take the simpler solution that you made both things at the same time. I also find it interesting that you happen to make cookies at all. So baking's a crime now? I didn't say that. You have to admit that it gave you a real nice excuse to not go straight to the foyer after the round ended. So what? Want me to burn down Belle's mansion or something? I'm saying that you put yourself an escape so you could move your precious blood bowl somewhere else. I'm gonna bet that you just had it in your room the whole time. Well, you were right across from me. You probably had it hidden in your room. You just wait for someone to come by so you can suggest the room right across from yours. Then, after they lock their door, you go and paint up a bunch of fake words and fake blood and hide the bowl back in your room. After the round it would end, you'd make an excuse to go check on the cookies you left in the kitchen, while in reality, the blood bowl you had and moved it to a different room. In case someone wanted to investigate the room you were in. You're really thinking I went through the trouble of making cookies as an excuse to leave without arousing suspicion? Well, it worked, didn't it? Well, yeah, you're clearly right. No traitor label on me, no matter what I say. It's not just that, Zeph, but you've been acting strangely all game. You didn't have to go over the strange fight that you and Richard got into? I told you already, he hit me with a book and then shoved me down the stairs. That absolutely did not happen. Well, the issue is, I can't really tell. I guess it's that Zeph started it and to fake his own injuries, but I'm not a medical professional, so I wouldn't know who really started the fight. But that's not what's important. Isn't it? It shows that he's the traitor. And I could say the same argument against you. Look, I already told you I don't know how I'd be able to tell the difference between who's lying. The real issue is, why did the fight happen at all? There's no reason either one of you would want to start a fight. Even if you suspect the other person was a traitor, all you'd have to do is lie about what symbol they had. Fine. Excuse me, fine and risk your own life if you accidentally knock someone out. So, what's the real reason behind the fight? I've got no idea. Yeah, spell it out for us. It's for the same reason the bloody words were made. It was just to cause a scene and sow confusion. Huh? That's all? And here I thought you were gonna come through with a huge breakthrough or something. It is quite a big breakthrough because it reveals what the traitor's plans are. Does it now? Kishi finally spoke up, maybe gaining interest in finally understanding what all this madness actually meant. It does. For starters, let me ask, why do you think the traitor painted the words in with blood? Did it spook you? To make us not trust one another? Both of those? Not quite. It was to make us split up. Split up? Right. The result of the whole blood words was that we needed to split up to find evidence. That ended up with two groups on two different floors. And that's important because after splitting us up, we did manage to find evidence. I imagine our culprit knew they eventually would be found with time. In fact, that's what they were hoping for. They're saying that the traitor wanted to be found out? Yeah, that seems a little off, doesn't it? It does seem a little off, but they have a good reason. And I'll tell it, but I just need to have one more detail to go over. Remember how I said that the fight was meant to draw our attention? Right. Kishi and I were drawn over to Zeph after he fell down the stairs. Then we were confused about everything that happened between Richard and Zeph. More confusion, more questions, and along with that, we have our own findings and ideas of how things went down. And the cherry on top is a revelation that Richard lied about Zeph's symbol. I didn't lie about it. Right, you didn't lie about it. But how are we to know? It's another mystery. Before we could resolve anything, the round was ended. Now, everything is clear. I can finally explain the truth. Well, go on. We're waiting. Not here, though. Huh? What do you mean, not here? The most important piece of evidence should be in the study where the fight happened. We'll go there. Be crystal clear what happened. Think there's evidence in there? I'm sure of it. Are you willing to see the truth? Well, gets us through this mess, then sure. I'm fine with it. Zeph seemed most apprehensive as he was eyeing me suspiciously. Come on, take the bait. Fine, but if this doesn't go anywhere, just know that you've wasted a ton of our time. Don't worry, everything will make sense. I had to hold my breath. I didn't want to breathe it. I didn't want to breathe a sigh of relief too soon. As we walked towards the study, I whispered a quick message to Richard. Huh? The thing on my lip and watched as he made a nervous nod. Don't blow this, Richard. Alright, we're here. Right. We're here. Zeph stood by the door leading to the study. Ladies first. Good to know you still got some manners by the head injury. Kishi walked in first and Zeph looked expectantly at me. Without waiting, I walked inside the door, standing close outside the study, standing close towards the door. This was it. Alright, let's see how things On cue, Richard grabbed Zeph with both hands and shoved him into the study. Hey, what the? Before he could react, I grabbed his arm and with all my strength tossed him as far as I could from the door. Oh, let go. Double onto his ass, and by the time it was too late. Richard slammed the door without staying outside in the hallway while I rushed towards the door. Don't make a move, Zeph, or I'll lock the door. But that'll kill us. It will. It'll kill Zeph, and that's the most important part. Hey, let's not do anything drastic. You don't know if Richard is a traitor or not. Actually, I do know. Frankly, the game's already over, Zeph. I was already on the lock. A simple twist, the game would be over. Whether you admit to it or not, I'm gonna lock all three of us in here, and that'll be the end of the game. Emerson hissed out a stream of air through his teeth. He knew he was done, and all he could do was glare at me with anger. And after a quick flare of anger, his shoulders sagged and his eyes softened. Oh, that's it then. Game over. Huh. I could be a bit more combative, but he just looks either. How do you know? Wait, it's true? Yeah, she got it. I mean, Zeph, it wasn't that hard. Simplest solution was that you were screwing around trying to make us figure out what the heck was going on. Then once we had an idea, you were going to make us talk it out in one of the rooms. You did all of that just to get us all into one room? Well, I figured with my injuries, I could make an excuse to go into a room. Could ask for us all to inspect a single room. Obviously, I couldn't do that without having something to investigate. Bloody words, a random fight, something to get you all hyped up. Otherwise, I'm sure that one of you would have just stayed out and figured it was a trap. Wow, kind of impressive for you to try and think of something that clever. Hey, I'm a smart guy. Kishi walked over to Zeph, taking a seat right beside him, wrapping her arm around his shoulder. I didn't say you weren't smart, it's just that it was impressive. So how'd you do it? Do what? Don't play coy. I mean, how'd you change your color? Obviously, you found a way since Richard was so surprised. Some secrets are going to the grave. Not like it matters, right? You're such a tease, you know that? What's the matter? I'm a dead man, aren't I? She simply gave him a kiss on the cheek and held him tight. Watched as Kishi held Zeph close as if trying to comfort him from his inevitable death. Zeph seemed to appreciate it, though of course he was still sour over the whole ordeal. Looking at them, remind me of what Clyde said to me before he died. I'm surprised. About what? You are so calm. Figured that you'd be fighting, or yelling, or crying about losing one another. You're amazingly relaxed about the whole thing. It's just kind of weird. Especially since you two are dating, I imagine that you care at least a little bit about one another. More waterworks, more something. Is that how it was with you and Clyde? What do you think? It's not that we don't have strong emotions or anything. I guess it's more like we've already gone through it before. We've been in worse patches than this. Cried, screamed, and fought over more serious stuff. Maybe by comparison, this doesn't feel so bad. Still. She leaned against Zeph, resting her head on his shoulder. It's never pleasant to know that he's going to be hurt or that he's going to die. Hey, don't say it's up to me to make me feel better. I lost it. It was bound to happen. Well, that's not like you. You're not the type to call it quits. Well, no, but I mean, literally, you can't win all the time. I did, and, well, frankly, I'm not sure how we get out of this mess aside from some miracle. Words confused me. They didn't make any sense. He won every game. Wouldn't he just be able to get his wish and leave? Or is there more to it than that? Familiar sensation flooded my head again, like when I felt that dread from the second game. But this time it was relief. Or maybe it was acceptance? Like Zeph's words were simply the truth? You know, I didn't understand how that was the case. Well, it's like you said, Zeph. Can't win them all. Ah, Devin. Yeah? Not mine. Can I be the one to lock the door? Can it just be me and Zeph? You sure? Yes, I mean, no point making you suffer if you don't have to. True. rather not have my head explode. You know, feels right to have this final private moment with him. Sure, makes sense. Just don't let him pull a fast one on you. Don't worry, even if we try, it's not like we won't be able to catch him later anyway. Right, at this point he doesn't have any outs. Left the room and simply closed the door behind me. Oh, you left? Yeah, Kishi and Zeph are gonna die together. Not that it matters to us. How romantic. They really are a modern day Romeo and Juliet. Well, I wouldn't go that far. It's not like they're dying to stop families from feuding forever, right? Fair point. That's sweet looking at them, though. Jealous of what they have? Kind of. I mean, they're about to be broken up, so not all of it, but... I mean, it was cute, romantic, to know that you got someone that cares so much for you like that. Doesn't everyone want a relationship like that? I suppose so. Suddenly a sound of an explosion burst from the room behind me. What? I thought the rooms were soundproof. Maybe the explosion was, particularly loud? Indeed it was! Ring-a-ding! It's me again, here to announce the end of my game! Well, I mean, that's not really a surprise. We know that Zeph was the traitor. Oh, are you certain? How do you know it's not Richard? The logic it out, and the guy admitted to it earlier. People have made plenty of false confessions in the past. Well, then just tell us who's the traitor and be done with it. I just click out. I did. Gosh dang it. Don't try and gaslight us into thinking of someone else. Fine, fine. Remove the suspense from the whole thing. Traitor was? Zeph's spear, of course. Wasn't much of a surprise, but it was nice to hear it anyway. Quite the trickster, that one. Yeah, well, bring Kishi back. She won. She's on the team of 3. Hey there, G7. Ever since you found your confidence, you've been a lot more pushy lately. Say I liked you more as an emotional wreck, but you were definitely more in line. Huh? Anyway, give me a moment. Bill opened the door where the explosion came from and began to close it. Hey, what are you doing? Reviving them, of course. What? Do you want to see 2 headless corpses in the bloody mess that their brains made? No. I suggest you wait quietly out here while I'm working my magic. She winked and slammed the door behind her. Yeah, I guess having your head blown off would be kind of messy. Let's just wait it out. For a few seconds, Belle opened the door and slipped out. All done. Ready to see new and improved Kishi? New and improved? Well, it's actually just the same. But considering I patched her up atom by atom, it's kind of like she's new and improved. Well, she has her head back. I suppose that kind of makes sense. She stepped out from behind the door. Please don't say things like that. It's creepy. Creepy? I just brought you back from oblivion. You think my announcement is creepy? Yes. Belle pouted but stepped aside as Kishi walked out to the hall and smiled at the 2 of us. Seems like you were right on the money, Devin. Was there ever any doubt? Not really. But it still felt kind of risky. Guess that things could have turned out worse, though frankly, I wonder how things would have gone if I had checked up on Zeph during the first round. Yes, the details of this game are very fun. Let's move on to the end of the game. Would you all like to meet me down by the foyer? We all agreed and walked with Belle back down to the foyer of the mansion. Now that we've got it properly, let me give you one more congratulations on victory. First things first, let's remove those pesky collars off your neck. With a snap of her finger, that was a terrible snap, the collars fell off our necks. How does it feel to not have the thread of death wrapped around your throat like that? Well, it's certainly better. Yeah, really nice to know my head won't explode anymore. Glad to know that you're all happy to enjoy your new lease on life. Yes, we are. A wonderful finalist. Who will make it to the end, though? That's a question, isn't it? Only one way to find out. Belle snapped her fingers. I'm not even trying this time. And then the door appeared on one of the walls. That's your exit, leading you to the final lounge. Thank you. You're welcome. Now I have one more game to play and one more victor to crown. For the finale, enjoy these peaceful moments. Good luck and good fortune. With a wink and a smile, she poofed away in a cloud of blue smoke. Well, that's that then. Kishi rubbed her neck and let off a soft sigh. Only one way to go now. Forward. Yeah. Three of us opened the door and found ourselves walking through a familiar hallway once again. Another game down, only one more to go. Well, something on your mind? Nothing different than what I'm usually thinking about. Just have to soldier on, no matter what lies ahead. With or without Zeph, I'll have to arch up. Have you always had that attitude? Just pressing forward no matter how bad things get? I imagine that she'd have to have it if she wanted to be a good musician. You're often met with failure and disappointment a lot of times in creative spaces. And yes, I'm speaking from experience. Still am, technically. No, I wouldn't say that. It was like that. I mean, if I'm being honest, I attribute my success to luck more than anything. Well, there's that too. Well, I mean... She winced and her head lowered as she kept walking. Even that, I just got born into the right family, I guess. You know that they say that success is all about who you know, not what you know? There's a random comma right there. Are you related to some famous artist or something? No, nothing like that. I just have connections. Well, I guess not even me, it's just my grandma. Ugh. This became slower and slower until she stopped and leaned against the wall. I hate thinking about it. Thinking I only got successful because I was a lucky girl whose grandma had sway over tons of people. Promoters, great gigs, the best equipment. All this stuff to get our band's name out into the open and make things as great as they are. So what are you saying? So what? Are you saying that your music is trash or something? Hey, I wouldn't go that far. It's more like there's tons of great bands out there that would probably put in 100 times the work that we did and still end up failing because things don't go well for them. And then there's me. I had everything handed me. Not to say we didn't struggle or have our hard times, but the only way we'd screw up is if we purposely tried to. That's the kind of influence this way that my grandmother had. She gave me the world, and I was all too happy to take it. You make it sound like you're making a deal with the devil. Not too far off, honestly. I mean, it's not like she gave me everything I wanted just because she was nice. It was transactional. She gave me everything I wanted, the support for a successful band, all the money I could need, connections to keep the influence strong. In return, I gave her what she wanted more than anything in the world, which is immortality. So that's why you're here, right? Yeah, she wants it back. She's obsessed with it. And figured that since she treated me so well, I was indebted to her to get it for her. But in a way, she's not wrong. Even so, it doesn't really feel quite fair to have to go through all this just because she helped my band get off the ground. Yeah, that's not quite the fair balance. But what can you do? She's close family. I was young. Frankly, she's done more than just the band stuff. All this money she's had, she's helped me in more... With all this money she's had, she's helped me in more ways than I'd want to admit. Made me feel like a spoiled princess on more than one occasion. Really? You don't have the look of a spoiled princess, honestly. What? Is it because I'm a drummer for a rock band and I'm dating a punk skater boy? Well, sorta. Also, you don't really come off as entitled or pampered. She shrugged. Well, maybe it's because I just knew how lucky I was. I was never really into the prim and proper parts of high society or whatever. I sure as hell knew I didn't want to be some politician or businesswoman. Isn't running a band kind of like running a business? I guess in some ways, but I don't really deal with, like, the whole band organization, you know? Not that I don't have those skills. My grandma was sure to give me the best education that she could have. I see. But it does seem weird that your grandma would invest so much into you and then risk your life just to get herself immortality. Guessing you're gonna, like, wish that for her? That's the plan. Why couldn't she do it herself? Oh well, it's because this is known as a selfless game and not a selfish game. Oh, what? Basically means that any wish you make here can't be used on yourself or anyone in the game here. Must be someone outside the game, hence it's a selfless game. I feel like I'm gonna need a deeper explanation for all this. Yeah, you're probably right. Let's go to the lounge. It'd be easier to explain there than in this hallway. Yeah, I'm a little curious about things too. I mean, I know how this story sort of ends up. Catch you up to speed too, Richard. In our lounge, we click and move over to one of the couches. And we will hang on the couch next time. So thank you for watching. We're gonna have a chat here probably because we have to wait for the other game. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking, commenting, and or subscribing. If you really enjoyed it, consider supporting the channel. All support greatly helps to keeping content like this and more. I'll links for that in the description below, along with links to me on social media. So now I just smashed my hand on my desk. Ow. Thank you again for watching. Ow, my fingers hurt. And until next time, this is rinimt signing out. Bye. Sack, that hurt.